Is sailing just for the rich? For the last 5 years, we've been trying to prove them wrong. Drifting from country to country, we've been surviving on a shoestring budget, catching food for dinner, improvising boat upgrades, and doing all our own repairs with what little spares we can scavenge. Going into our 3rd year deep in the South Pacific, and with supplies running low, we've been testing our MacGyver skills to the max. But now, as we approach our most dangerous anchorage yet, we may have met our match with a repair that could cost us everything.
It is official, we are going to go through this little narrow pass. Thankfully, I think we've arrived at a good time. The current is coming out, but the waves are not particularly big. So as long as we can get our line right on the way in, we should be fine. Sadly, not a single nibble on the fishing lines though. We went into an extra pass just in front of the entrance here in the hope that maybe something was lurking, but no biters. So I guess we'll just have to head inside the pass and ask the locals how they do it.
So this is one of the, if not the, narrowest pass in all of French Polynesia. If you saw us when we went to Amanu just before Christmas on our way down to the Gambier last year, that was pretty narrow. There were like concrete walls either side, and it was pretty feisty going inside there. This is narrow, but it's just all underwater. There's no walls, it's just reef. And if you can see the 2 white marker posts, that's the only thing we have to go off. What makes this one even more fun is that it's also the shallowest of all of the passes in French Polynesia. So it really is a skinny gap that we're trying to get into. That's why we've waited for high tide, so that we have as much water underneath us as possible. But I am not expecting it to be very much at all. So we're just going to go for it and see what happens. Oh my goodness, that is a reef wall right there. Look at those huge rocks the waves are crashing on. Oh my goodness! I mean, this barely feels wider than our boat.
This is wild.
So that's us well and truly in the pass now. We are just passing the first white post marker, and the extra challenge is that coming up ahead there are massive bommies in the middle of the channel, and we have to stick to the right-hand side and sort of swing a right as we go in.
I mean, this looks like an easier pass in terms of the waves, but I feel like I'm threading a needle.
Yeah, it's like there's only just space enough for the boat to fit through.
And then what do we do?
Yeah, so here's that bommy that we think we're avoiding, but we can't really tell where to go over this side. It's so hard to know if it's just like a little bommy that's shallow or a sandy patch that's shallow. Everything is shallow, and we're just hoping that we make it through. I think we're over sand again. You did it, well done.
That was a dicey one.
That was really close to that bommy on the inside there.
Yeah, well, and the walls of the channel were just like vertical walls of coral, so.
Yeah. Did you see what the shallowest depth was?
About 2.5. We didn't go too shallow.
Fun! I don't know how well this is going to come out on camera, but this must be like the smallest atoll we have ever come to. So on the east side, there is a motu that runs all the way down the side, a sandy island with trees on it. And then up the west side, it is just reef. But I can basically see the entire atoll from here. So I can see the breaking waves in the south end here. And yeah, the trees that I'm looking at, that's the other side of the atoll. That's it. This is the whole place. Quick change of plan, where are we going now?
Well, so helpfully you were chatting with a friend of ours called Zen, who are down that end of the atoll. So we suddenly decided, instead of going where there are 5 boats, which is a bit busy.
Far too busy for the likes of us.
Well, you know, don't want to get preoccupied in all of that. We thought, you know what, we'll go to the other end of the atoll because they have some Spinnaker tape, which is like a sticky repair patch that we might be able to use on our Spinnaker to get the Fakenbeck sail up again. So if they don't mind lending us some to keep us going, that would be huge. And then I thought, well, if we get that now, we can make a start in the repair sooner. Which gives us more freedom, whereas if we wait, then we'll do it last minute before we leave, and then it might not cure properly or whatever.
Yeah, this passage has demonstrated how crucial it is to have that asymmetrical spinnaker, because the winds were so light that we were just going incredibly slowly with the Genoa, and then as they dropped more and more, the Genoa wasn't staying full, so we ended up having to motor. So it is costing us in diesel to sail in conditions like this, whereas if we'd had the Spinnaker flying, we would have arrived here sooner, and we might have stayed around waiting for high tide outside the pass, but we wouldn't have had to rely on the engines to get us to our destination in the first place. So if we can get it back up and running, it will make a huge difference as we continue with longer and longer passages across the rest of the Pacific and wherever we end up deciding to go. I cannot get over how beautiful this place is. It is like so obscenely quiet. The water is just like mirror flat, beautiful colors. And I still can't really get over the fact that we sailed for 24 hours, even longer than that, and just stumbled across this tiny little speck of land in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I know that we've kind of lived like that in French Polynesia for the last couple of years, but this place, I don't know, it feels so much further away than anywhere we have been. It feels really random, like who decided to put an atoll here? I don't know why it's so far away from everything, but it is really like just a speck in the middle of the ocean. Can't believe we're here. Have we got visitors already?
Yeah, they actually just went for a fish, so I heard them.
Oh, they're tiddly.
3 little baby blacktips.
They are really, really tiny.
This is the welcoming party. You get dolphins at the pass, you get sharks at the anchorage.
Yeah, I love it. Want to go for a swim?
I wonder if we maybe timed our passage just right, because it didn't rain on us once while we were sailing, but since we got here, it has been peeing it down. Not quite non-stop, but almost. We certainly discovered a few new leaks in the boat we didn't know about, so yeah, that's always fun. It doesn't really matter, however, because the job we need to get on with is repairing the Falcon. If you were following along, you saw earlier, we've tried to fly the Falcon to get here, and the second it was up, we discovered 3 tears in what is basically a brand new sail, which isn't great. So we have emailed the guys at Precision for some advice. In the meantime, our friends who just happened to be anchored over here on a boat called Zen, they stopped over because they have some Spinnaker repair tape, kind of like duct tape. Duct tape fixes everything, right? It's basically that, but for sails. So we're gonna try and take the whole Spinnaker out, try and work our way to the rips, and then apply this tape. And according to them, they've managed to run 3 years with some of this repair tape on sails, so we're hoping that that is the same for us. Otherwise, the sewing machine comes out and this whole project takes a bit longer.
So we've been through the whole of the Spinnaker. It's kind of the top 2 panels are where most of the damage is. But when it was flying, we thought that it was like 3 small holes, 3 little tears near the top, all around the same height. Now that we've actually pulled it down and got a closer look at it, there are so many more rips than we thought. And a lot of them are like huge, big runs in the fabric, which are just gonna tear more if we don't do something about them now. So this is absolutely the worst part. It's where it's cut right through, and then there are also these like little sideways rips as well. So that is just one massive hole, but we're just trying to work out if it is possible to do anything with the tape that we have, or if we're just gonna be basically taping up the whole sail, which I don't think we have enough tape for. So we've got white and red, no orange.
No orange does exist, but you know, the shop is limited in this part of the world. There is no shop.
Can't get all the supplies you exactly need, but it's close enough.
It's almost there. So yeah, just need to figure out how much of this is usable. And I don't use up all of their tape because they very generously said that we can use some of their sail tape.
So basically the plan is just to lay the sail as flat as possible, get the 2 sides to meet up, and then we'll tape it on both sides, hopefully covering the entire rip. And then that should give it enough strength to not rip any further. But I don't know. I'm not sure how much hope I have in this, to be honest. I was thinking of getting some fabric that I have that's very, very similar and sewing a big patch on, but I would love to avoid making more holes in this if I can possibly avoid it. So we're going to go with the tape first of all, and that will be the backup plan.
See, what's funny about this is I'm looking at it going, oh my goodness, this is a disaster. Whereas, Bri, you look at it as a craft project. Cutting and sticking, I'm telling you.
I did feel like we had a little bit of creative choice because they have red tape and white tape. So you were like, well, the red tape is closest to the orange, whereas I was like, oh no, that's adding a new colour into our colour scheme. We'd better go white on here.
You're gonna start writing words across the sail.
Well, I did think if I could put white on, then I could just like colour it in over the top.
Oh no, with felt tips. Here we go.
Put a bit of paint on there, it'll be fine. And you all think I'm the picky one. Ian has actually got a Sharpie out to colour in the little white stream bit of tape that we put on.
This is what we used to do on stage set design. When we had to repair something in a hurry and when they had white duct tape, gaff tape, you'd come out and you'd start colouring in, or if you chipped a piece of furniture, a set that was painted black but was like wood coloured underneath, you just bleed a Sharpie into it.
It's making me so nervous that you're colouring in and then looking up and still colouring in. Oh, do it neatly. Okay, well, I think we're going to call it at that. I can't really tell if that has been successful or not. We won't know until we fly it, but we've done what we can with extremely limited resources, and let's just pretend it worked.
I mean, it's hard to express how remote, and I know we say this a lot, but how remote we are. If it wasn't for the fact that there was one other boat within earshot.
Yeah, totally. We have still got a long way to go to get anywhere, so hopefully now our journey will be slightly easier and we'll be crossing our fingers every time we raise the sail now.
I know, it won't be quite so stress-free flying a Spinnaker. It'll be like fly a Spinnaker and count the seconds. It hasn't exploded yet.
Come on, hold on. You can do it. And what are we doing now?
Basically, we arrived and anchored next to some friends of ours, a boat called Zen, and they sent us a message inviting us to set coconut crab traps. So earlier today, when it was still daylight, we went out and we basically placed broken open coconuts in amongst the sort of forest of palm trees. And now that it's dark and we've given them a bit of time, we're going to go and find out if the coconut crabs have come to the bait. And then we're going to count our fingers before and after. And that is the sound of the horn going off that they said they would give us a signal that they were ready. So yeah, we're going to go into the beach. We're going to try and find these coconut crabs, and then we're going to find ourselves some dinner for tomorrow night. So just as we started driving there, I was like, what's that noise? It's the dinghy bilge pump was going off. But there wasn't that much water in the dinghy, so I was a bit confused why. And then I just looked down and realized that the anchor, the stern anchor was pressing on the test button. So that's good, we know the dinghy bilge pump works. There we are.
Gonna be funny to see if we are lucky to catch some new ones. But
I'm feeling confident. So the trick was earlier when we came in to hide all the coconuts, we were like, okay, let's come up with a system to mark where they are so that we can then find them again in the dark. So pretty much every time you see two palm fronds on the beach, you walk in an indeterminate amount distance into the trees, and hopefully whoever put the coconut there is going to remember. I only put one down and I put it at the very, very last palm tree at the very end of the beach. So I can remember where I put mine. Do you remember where you put yours?
Not a clue.
Coconut crab.
Hey, one.
There's a little baby. He got you?
no, it's just the leg.
Another one, another one.
Oh yeah? Oh wow, he's massive.
Yeah. I'm just impressed you guys see them so quickly.
So we found 3 crabs so far. One of them was really quite tiny. The other 2 are sizable, but are very, very good at hiding. So we need to figure out a way that we can be a little bit quicker at grabbing them. So we're gonna go further down the beach and look for some of our other traps that we laid and see what we find down there. Can't believe you set a coconut crab on me. Slightly problematic when you can't remember where you left the coconuts, isn't it?
That's exactly right, but we have a whole team of people who do remember, even if I don't.
Right now, nobody's remembering. We're walking in circles.
We're walking in circles. That's unfortunately true, but
It's just a brownie hike at night.
are you in charge of this?
It's big.
Yeah, watch your fingers.
Just gonna take it out.
Good job. Nice, nicely done. Any luck? Can you see it?
Yeah, they can see it. Wow, biting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Nice.
Well done.
Do it tight in the boat.
Morning. Yeah. Where's your body at? There you are.
Watch,
Just watch your fingers.
Yep. In you go. Oh. give him a knock.
Yes.
Hey, there we
well
go.
done.
Body go.
Okay, now we got food.
Success.
That was the one that we left. Yeah.
Ian just walked right past the coconut he left, saw someone else's, and was like, yeah, that's the one I put down
That
earlier
wasn't
because it was
someone
next to
else's.
like the leany tree. And I was
Hey,
like, well,
hey, that-
first of all the trees are leany.
It wasn't someone else's. It was the one I put down next to the leaning tree.
Oh, the crabs just moved it.
No, it's right where I put it.
No, you put it down in here in this bush.
That was the second one. Oh, that was the first one. The second one was over there. I know where I put my.
I think you should climb inside the bush and see if there's a coconut
Try to
crab
remember where I put it
willing to
inside the
bite you.
bush. Where is it?
I don't remember which side of the leany tree you went. Did you run behind?
Don't think I
Yeah,
did.
probably in there. Dive on in.
So what we've now discovered is Briny is certain that I put a coconut here,
So
but
certain.
I didn't. And I'm pretty sure that she's making this up. However, she is not taking no for an answer. So she is now going to climb in among the bushes, and knowing her luck, she'll stumble across a coconut crab that isn't eating the coconut I put there.
Thing is, I filmed you putting it here earlier. So everybody have a good look at the tree behind us, and then we'll review the footage and we'll see if this is the same
It
spot.
wasn't this tree, it was the tree over there. Any luck?
No.
Still nothing?
Yeah, I tried to call the coconuts, but it didn't.
Nobody has had any luck after the first 4 coconut crabs that we found. So I think the only hope is for the one that I put down underneath the very last palm tree at the bottom of the beach. So we're going this way. I also haven't really thought what to do if we get there and there is a coconut crab there, because I am armed with a big torch and that's it. So I'll probably squeal and run away and give it a chance to hide.
No, you're supposed to pick it up.
I see the coconut. I just caught 2 hermit crabs.
You caught hermit crabs. Well done, Bray.
But I gave them a treat. So really what we've got is a petting zoo.
Oh dear.
Success.
He put up a bit of a fight.
Oh my goodness, he's massive. Wow, he's huge.
Not bad. Dinosaur.
Yeah, right.
All right, so the rain has arrived. It's been lightning,
As
there's
you
been
said
thunder.
that, there was lightning behind you.
We've had a lot of fun. We have managed to capture 4 decent-sized coconut crabs. We were on the hunt for a 5th. We thought that'd be really good because then all the adults in the party would get one. But given the rain keeps sort of switching on and off and it's getting later, we might just have to call it a night. However, 4 all caught in a net. We kind of tried to tie them up and then they decided to untie themselves. So we had to put them in. We found an old fishing net and used to use that to kind of wrap them up. It seems to work. Or we might get back to the beach and find there's a small, I don't know, army of coconut crabs ready to take us over. We did put one in the dinghy and it decided to climb just up onto the dinghy, so that wasn't an option to do free and loose. Free range coconut crabs is maybe not the way to go. But yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully we won't get nipped by any on the way back to the beach, and if we do, then we'll have 5.
The rain has just about stopped for the afternoon. It is so calm and peaceful here. So we've all come into the beach to have our bonfire and cook up our coconut crab feast that we caught last night. So we've got the fire going, we've got the games out, the lights going up in the trees, making a really nice little space to celebrate our hunting success.
All right, it's time to put this guy out of his misery and then make some dinner.
So we have got like the biggest pan that we could find on Indioko. We've boiled some water on the fire, which has taken longer than we thought. And then we're going to see maybe it's big enough to fit 2 of the crabs in one pot. But yeah, we're just going to boil them. It's pretty simple, pretty, we're not really adding any flavour because they taste so good on their own. So 10 to 15 minutes, we'll be eating a feast. They are looking pretty good. You can't really see the colour, but they are very orange now.
We have to change that over to a white light so we can see.
That one's
This
massive.
is the monster. Yeah.
It's huge. Good job. So we've learned from previous attempts that knife and fork just doesn't cut it.
Just doesn't work. You need to bring yourself some mole grips. Yeah, for some reason, this just seems to be the most efficient way to get into a crab.
So this is a total feast. We have got 1 coconut each for the adults. Then we've also got some rice cooked inside a coconut. So it's cooked in the coconut water, milk. It's gonna taste like coconuts anyway. Then there's also a bunch of onions and then some homemade bread on the fire as well. Doesn't get any better than this.
Just waiting for the velociraptor to jump out.
Yeah.
Some tourists found on a beach in the middle of nowhere these secrets. Actually, this would have been better down where the nuclear reacting stuff was, like the nuclear bombs.
What, hunting for coconut crab to eat?
Radioactive crabs, they just come walking out at you.
They can actually fly.